Welcome back to Saturday Report. I'm Lydia Serrani. Well, it's certainly not looking good for CNN. It was revealed this week that they suffered their lowest ratings in 9 years across all of its day parts for the week of January 16th through January 22nd, 2023. The Don Lemon-fronted show CNN This Morning, in particular, suffered its lowest week's ratings since its launch back in November. If you remember, he was prime time, where he wasn't doing too well there either. Joining us now to discuss all of this and more is the president of Accuracy in Media, Adam Guillette. Adam, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Adam, with CNN's viewership down, what could this mean for the channel's programming going forward, especially since they don't have former President Trump to prop up as their villain? Also, there's a report out in the New York Post that Don Lemon got into it off camera with his co-host Caitlin Collins, that he yelled at her. Megyn Kelly, she weighed in and she was saying, oh, well, you know, he should be fired for something like this. So he's got a multi-million-dollar contract. And you wonder who's leaking what to the New York Post. Now, all of a sudden, Don Lemon, you know, it's coming out that he yells at women and he's abusive to women at work. I don't know. It's not looking too good. What do you think?
Well, I think it sounds like the most exciting things happening at CNN are happening off cam. Perhaps rather than putting out far left news that is uninteresting to anyone, maybe we need a CNN reality show. Put that up in prime time, and I might even actually tune in. And 9 years ago, when the ratings were incredibly low, what they did back then is pivoted away from news. They brought in Anthony Bourdain. I don't know who they're going to find now that will actually interest people, because it's clear that viewers don't want to tune in for news from CNN.
And keep in mind, DirecTV still has CNN on their lineup, and they pay them about $14 a year versus DirecTV that was asking for pennies a month, resulting to about $1 a year. So if that's not blatant censorship, I don't know what is. What do you think, Adam?
$14 a year, it sounds like $1 for each viewer over there. It truly is outrageous. I don't know how they can improve, because even if they try to move a little bit more to the middle, well, I'm not tuning in. I still know what they are. You know what they are. We're not tuning in. And MSNBC has done an excellent job of stealing all of the far-left viewers. They clearly have cornered the market and telling crazy progressives what they want to hear. And CNN, unfortunately for them, is just second tier at that.
I know. I can't believe anybody watches Joy Reid or even Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton has a show on MSNBC, and his constant race baiting is just, oh, it's stomach churning. Switching gears, by the way, basketball player Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors, and of course, he's a big, huge Biden supporter. He penned a letter to officials in his town in California, his little hoity-toity town, voicing his opposition to the construction of multifamily townhouses behind his $30 million mansion. So he didn't want townhouses. Never mind, God, if it was affordable housing or something like that. But he sure loves that Biden administration. They're always touting that equality for all. Seems quite hypocritical for one of the most high-profile Democrats to oppose housing for others. What do you think?
I think it's typical hypocrisy from the left. These are the kinds of people who claim they want more low-income housing, just not near them. These are the kinds of people who say we should be a sanctuary city. But as soon as you send migrants over there, they freak the heck out. They're all talk. They can't walk it. And with somebody like Steph Curry, it really matters, because these days, celebrities are the most influential people politically. The only time most Americans will open their minds to an idea that they disagree with politically is when it comes from someone who they don't follow for political reasons. So that makes musicians, actors, and athletes some of the most influential people politically, and that's a real shame that Steph Curry is one of them.
Absolutely. And speaking of hypocrisy, you know, DirecTV, they're lying, and they're saying, oh, it has to do with money, and we don't want to pass it along to our customers. And we've been talking about just how ridiculous that is. It's literally pennies a month. No one would have even noticed it on their bill. Do you think DirecTV is surprised by all the backlash?
Well, you know, they certainly should be when you go after the fourth biggest cable news network with higher ratings than Vice, even though they pay Vice and won't pay Newsmax. It's outrageous and shocking. You know, they claim they're going to resolve it by putting on another conservative channel, one that no one has ever heard of. The only thing I'm taking joy in right now with all of this is watching Cuomo complain that he's still losing in the ratings to Newsmax.
He really is. He really is. He even wanted to fight a WABC radio host for like some sort of like charity event, this and that, because I think he's desperate for some attention. But yeah, and they spend so much money. They're pouring so much money into it. But I mark my words, I think this is the beginning of the end of Don Lemon. That's what I think is happening here. There's like a concerted effort because it's a lot of money that they're spending on that show, and they're not getting anything out of it. Adam, your closing thoughts on the future of CNN?
I literally do not know what they should do, because if they moved into the middle, they would alienate their remaining left-wing viewers, and we still wouldn't tune in. And how can you go further left and crazier than MSNBC, a network with, as you pointed out, Al Sharpton? You can't get crazier than that. There's nowhere left in the marketplace for CNN to go except down.
Well, get them out of here. And everybody should tune into Newsmax, where we tell both sides of the story. That's what people don't understand. They're like, oh, it's a Trump channel. It's like, no, he's running for president. Of course, we're going to cover him. And that's what every channel needs to be doing. And as a journalist, we should all want as many voices and as many news outlets as possible. Thank you so much, Adam Guillette, for all that you do.